Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, thank you. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Perfect World based on novel. So let's start. At this moment, everyone's expressions changed. Shahao was cutting off the divine vine's innate precious patterns. This was the same as a human race exceptional talent's supreme being bone, or dual pupil. This was an item bestowed by heaven, a complete unique secret method that had never appeared before. This was how the term exceptional talent came to be. The eyes of some existences, who ignited their divine flames burned, quietly closing in to make a move. They wanted to take action, because this vine was priceless. It contained an innate precious technique, break for me. Shahao shouted. He fiercely exerted force. His arms shone, using all of his power to cut off this pitch-black divine vine. By doing so, he could perhaps obtain some of its symbols. At the very least, he could still obtain an innate precious artifact. Unfortunately, when he exerted force, this black golden vine turned into specks of light. It was wrapped around by the beast tooth symbols and struggled free. No wonder I couldn't find the life symbol. Shahao said to himself. He wanted to steal a life symbol this entire time, but he never found it. It turned out that it was stored within the innate symbol imprint. It was precisely because of this that the vine could protect its innate symbol from being seized by another. Golden patterns flickered about. A sun god vine appeared in the distance. Its true body reconstructed, forming someone that resembled Jin Lai. He carried bitter resentment and stared at Shahao. I will kill you. Is that so? Do you still dare to come back in? I really am looking forward to it. Shahao's large eyes blinked. He licked his lips, revealing a look of desire. Jin Lai's head of hair danced about chaotically. Golden light surged. He was humiliated and angry, his face full of embarrassment. Multicolored light flashed, and then he disappeared while wrapped within a rain of light, truly regretful. Shahao shook his head. That beast tooth life symbol had an inseparable connection with the secret realm. It contained this little thousand world's mysterious natural laws. He couldn't stop it from bringing Jin Lai away. The atmosphere was rather strange. Everyone looked at Shahao, feeling that this fellow's strength wasn't a normal type of strong. Jin Lai was killed. Strictly speaking, this was the first exceptional talent that was killed. Even though everyone had traded attacks before, it had never been this intense. Everyone knew that from here on out, the secret realm would be full of dangers. With the first death of an exceptional talent, more were to follow. It was as if a demonic case was opened. No one could hold back their power anymore, the secret realm's entrance, on top of that altar. A rain of light scattered about. A human figure appeared. There were many people from great sects here. They were all hoping for their sect's disciples to obtain natural luck in the secret realm. Apart from this, there were endless cultivators who did not have the chance to enter the secret realm. They were all observing this place, leaving this place packed with people. They wanted to learn about the circumstances inside. This person is Jin Lai from Sun God Vine Palace. Someone recognized him, appearing extremely shocked. This made Jin Lai's expression fall ashen, because everyone was discussing him, guessing at exactly who it was that killed him. As one of the defeated, this type of feeling was extremely unbearable. Little friend, who did you fight against? An old sect elder spoke up. He sat in the void, his figure blurry. When he opened his eyes, it was as if two streaks of lightning pierced through the darkness. Even though Jin Lai was domineering, when faced against this type of character, he still didn't dare to act too unbridled. He said things as they were. At this moment, the Hu race's old ancestor Zimeng, Immortal Mountain's Qin Changxing, and the others revealed looks of shock. Several sect masters were shocked. It was unexpectedly him again. The crowd was stunned, not daring to believe what they were hearing. It's that young devil king again. He killed an exceptional talent. That fellow first killed Fire Devil Palace's people, killed the Hu race's young king, then unexpectedly began to kill exceptional talents. Fire Devil Palace's peoples were streaming with tears. Why did they have to be mentioned every time? This truly left them greatly pained. Everyone erupted into discussions. Such a mysterious expert unexpectedly appeared. He shouldn't have a life symbol, so there wasn't any list of names to recognize his identity from. It was clear that this was a supreme being youth that secretly muddled his way in. He definitely had confidence, not needing a life symbol at all. It made everyone feel more and more interested. It truly is something to look forward to. I want to see what other world-shaking things he can do. Could it be that he is going to kill a heavenly genius? Woo, he killed Immortal Palace's Great One's servants, so there will definitely be a world-shocking great battle. I really am looking forward to seeing what happens when they meet again. Outside the secret realm, everyone's moods had been stirred up. They were excited, longing for the great confrontation in the secret realm. Within the secret realm's depths, there were lakes everywhere. Mists rose in spirals. Shahao killed an exceptional talent, making everyone reconsider his strength. Even though there were many who were fearless, they still did not wish to fight a great battle without a good cause. In the secret realm, there were many natural opportunities. A silver dragon lotus was precious, but it wasn't important to the extent of fighting to the death. Not far off, the witch and fairy Yu Chan's battle was still going on. These two individuals' powers opposed each other, and it was difficult for either side to kill the other. Otherwise, they wouldn't have tangled against each other all the way from the lower realm until now. Shahao thought he would be beaten up by the crowd, but now, it looked like these people were quite arrogant and refused to do something like that. Perhaps it was because no truly heavenly defying natural luck has been seen yet. Once Origin Sky Supreme Being's inheritance was discovered, or his supreme precious blood appeared, it would be different then. The heavenly cicada clothes are a supreme treasure. Are you all that rich, actually not caring about it? Shahao muttered. Fairy Yu Chan, since you gifted me with a piece of heavenly cicada armor, then you should do the deed fully and send another piece so that I can have symmetry. Shahao said smugly. Everyone became dumbstruck. This fella obtained Yu Chan's heavenly cicada clothes. Moreover, it was the leg piece. How did he obtain it? It was definitely not gifted to him by Fairy Yu Chan. Ayaya, older sis Yu Chan, you are too generous, even giving this type of sparkling, bod-emerging, most precious armor to someone else. How bold. The witch giggled, her eyes rippling with brilliance as she timely delivered a mental blow. The imprint between Yu Chan's brows flickered. The spiritual attack became even more powerful, and a void figure rushed out to kill the witch. Ayo, fairy, what happened? You want to kill someone to make them shut up. The witch smiled slightly and defended herself from this attack. Even with a battle of our level, you still want to vainly use words to try gain an advantage. Truly meaningless. Yu Chan was calm. Her skin was pure white like jade, her temperament outstanding. She wasn't affected at all. If I want to peel off another piece of heavenly cicada armor, it really will be hard, Shahao said to himself. He moved around the two girls, looking like he was going to take action. Everyone became stupefied. This fellow peeled it off himself, they all revealed a look of shock. Her beautiful hair fluttered about. Her figure was graceful and moving, with a gorgeous appearance. Her beautiful eyes shone like gemstones, and her skin was snow white like that of a fairy. There was a great charm to her. Older sis Yu Chan, what happened to your leg? Even though it is sparkling white like ivory, there seemed to be some fingerprints, the witch giggled. She was clearly purposely speaking nonsense to anger Yu Chan. The group of people all revealed looks of shock, and then they looked at Shahao. Someone said softly, where is that person from Immortal Palace? Didn't he walk close to heaven-mending sex fairy? Why didn't he take action? Yi, he's not here. Right at this moment, a blinding light emerged in the horizon. A great battle erupted. There was a figure there brandishing a void halberd in his hands, stirring up heavenly winds as he did so. In the chaotic skies, endless symbols swirled about. It was as if the dome of heaven was going to be hacked apart. His divine appearance was absolutely intimidating. On the other side, a golden light shone. A similarly tall and big youth stood there. The two individuals opposed each other with equal harshness, about to carry out a great confrontation. That region was extremely hazy with immortal mists curling about. There was a talisman that rushed up. The two individuals took action at the same time, currently fighting over it. That's the bone symbol required for entering the inheritance land. Everyone was shocked, and they all rushed over. Fairy Yu Chan, who was currently fighting intensely against the witch, quickly shifted to the side to dodge Shahao's terrifying attack. Meanwhile, Shahao was also shocked. He quickly leapt up to avoid the powerful strike from the divine flame expert behind him. Kai Lingkong. Shahao finally saw who it was. Evil monster, hand over your life. Kai Lingkong and another divine flame expert from the same clan assaulted him. Old thing, I don't have time to deal with you now. I am going to grab a bone symbol and kill you all when I come back. Shahao said. His eyes flickered. He saw that the witch and fairy Yu Chan had separated and were rushing forward. He also followed. The two experts chased after him. However, Shahao's speed was too fast. With the Kuan-Peng technique merged into the lightning, concealing its true appearance, he was incredibly fast. With just a few flashes, he disappeared from this place. Go, we are going as well. It is vital that we obtain that bone symbol. If we can open up the forbidden inheritance, that will be more important than everything else. Kai Lingkong clenched his teeth and said. He was shocked. It was actually Qin Hao. The long-life battle clothes he wore were shining. He didn't want to fight to the death with this little brother of his. Even though he was attacked by a palm, it was an attack that passed through the air, and there were no other attacks. Did grandfather come too? Shahao retreated to the side and searched around. He knew that if that person was his grandfather, he most likely came for Qin Hao. That is, his mind was greatly shaken. He never expected to truly see that special youth. He was on that mountain peak not too far off, currently looking at Qin Hao. That person's expression was complicated. There was a doting love, but also a feeling of distance. There was also memories, but even more sorrow. He really wanted to walk up, but he then stopped. When Shahao saw this, his heart trembled. He quickly closed in. Shahao's body trembled slightly. Was that his grandfather? He was extremely moved, but also extremely nervous. The mountain wasn't that tall, and vegetation flourished. The young man stood on a piece of large rock, gazing at the faraway Qin Hao. His mouth was slightly opened, as if he wanted to say something, but then it closed again. Suddenly, an urgent and ear-piercing roar sounded. An enormous golden bear appeared on that mountain peak, one that was 10 zhong in height. It slapped towards the youth. It revealed a mouthful of snow-white teeth that were sharp like swords. This was a creature at the supreme expert realm. It was incredibly vicious. Golden symbols blazed like flames around him and surged downwards. Shahao was shocked. He couldn't help but released a loud shout, because that youth was currently experiencing a disquiet state of mind. In this type of situation, it was quite likely that he might fall prey to this sneak attack. An indistinct pair of wings appeared behind him, and then he quickly rushed over. He didn't want anything unexpected to happen. If it was his grandfather, then if he accidentally encountered trouble, then that would be an unimaginable thing. Divine light flashed. The youth disappeared, his speed exceptionally fast. He avoided that enormous golden bear. Shahao calmed down. This youth was full of vigilance, and his methods were unordinary. He left behind an afterimage in the original spot. He was definitely an expert. With a wave of his hand, wings blew about. This powerful enormous golden bear was blown away. He looked at that youth, opening his eyes and wanting to say something, but he noticed that the other party was quickly backing up, pulling apart the distance between them. Shahao raised his head, seeing that it was the Child of Lightning that took action. That bone symbol unexpectedly ended up in this direction. The Child of Lightning's speed was extremely fast as he quickly chased over. It was clear that the Child of Lightning viewed him as a competitor, so he made the first move to gain an upper hand. Shahao was furious. He just met the one he suspected to be his grandfather, but he was interrupted like this. He was naturally extremely discontent. Meanwhile, he brandished his fist and blasted towards the heavens. Lightning similarly crashed down, accompanied with the Kuan-Peng power, as well as the true primordial record's profound mysteries. It rushed towards the skies. This fist made the void tremble and distort like a shaken painting. The Child of Lightning was shocked. He was a bit confused at the situation. Shahao didn't fight against him for the bone symbol, but instead became angry because of that fist he sent out. Then, several exceptional talents rushed over, some of them attacking downwards. This once again made Shahao extremely discontent. He continuously took action, even opening his heavenly passage to restrict one person that came down, and give him a vicious beating. The bone symbol became further away from them, so several exceptional talents rushed past without disturbing them anymore. Shahao followed a long and transmitted sound, asking, "Can I ask if you came from the lower realm?" That youth stopped and revealed a look of shock. Shahao knew that this type of pursuit and this type of questioning was extremely sudden, and that it would make the other party become even more on guard. "I do not have any bad intentions." He stopped moving and spoke frankly. His eyes were clear, trying to calm himself down as much as possible so that his voice wasn't trembling any longer. "Who are you?" The youth calmed down immediately and appeared calm. "I also came from the lower realm," Shahao said softly. By speaking like this, he was taking an extremely great risk. If this person wasn't Grandpa 15, then it would be extremely troublesome. What he just did was the same as exposing some holes in his identity. The youth's eyes became dim, unknown what he was thinking. Shahao felt anxious inwardly. He didn't know if the other party was making preparations, or if it was something else. If it wasn't his grandfather, then the situation would be extremely serious. "I don't know who you are, but I can feel that you don't have any malice." The youth spoke. He had a sharp type of divine awareness that was instinctive. This was something that was quite similar to Shahao. Their intuition were powerful. Shahao looked hopefully at him, and now, he actually felt a bit tormented, as well as incomparably nervous. It was because he cared a lot about this. He feared that he might miss out on this chance, or maybe recognized the wrong person. "I came from the lower realm," the other youth said softly. He looked into Shahao's eyes to observe his expression. At this moment, Shahao's heart trembled violently. He almost cried out loudly, but he endured his urges and said, "Are you the one called Great Demonic God from the Stone Clan? Did you enter the secret realm to see Qin Hao? Your son's name is Shaziling." Shahao continuously spoke, looking at this person not far off. He was extremely stirred up. "It seems like you know about my identity, and know who I am," the youth said. He looked at Shahao, feeling a bit confused. He also looked hesitant and became on guard. It was because he truly couldn't understand who this youngster was, why he knew so much. Even if it was the Qin clan's people that came, they shouldn't be able to recognize him. If not for his divine awareness being sharp and sensing that the youth in front of him didn't have any malice, he would have taken action a long time ago and fled into the distance. He wouldn't have paid this any attention. "You still have another grandson in the lower realm, right?" Shahao said, his clear large eyes becoming a bit red. He was both happy and moved. When the youth heard this, he immediately became silent. There was a type of sorry that was hard to conceal. "Correct, my grandson is in the lower realm, but he cannot come up." When he spoke up to this point, the youth gazed into the horizon. His emotions surged violently. There was a grand sadness coming out from him. He was trying his best to calm down his emotions. If they were still alive, he definitely wouldn't be any weaker than these higher realms' exceptional talents. When he thought of this, Grandpa 15 felt great grief. "My grandson isn't any weaker than anyone else, he was an innate supreme being, however, there is no way for him to enter the higher realms." There was a way, he came up. Shahao couldn't hold it back any longer. His eyes became red and he rushed forward. "What are you saying?" Grandpa 15's eyes also began to shine brightly. He stared at Shahao. "He didn't die." Shahao was smiling, his eyes carrying tears. "If my Hao didn't die, he will definitely create a storm in this world. He will be able to face off against all exceptional talents," the youth said with a trembling voice. Then, he stared deathly at Shahao. "That day will come." Tears streamed down Shahao's face. "Who are you? Who exactly are you?" the great demonic god asked. He didn't dare believe this, because he already received concrete news that had long been proven. His own grandson had already died. "Grandpa, I am your Hao, I am still alive." Hao rushed over, moreover no longer concealing his own aura. He released his true bloodline strength. At this moment, the great demonic god was shocked, but he could feel that this person was extremely intimate. Their blood seemed to be able to harmonize. This was an extremely close person. My Hawa. His voice was trembling. He reached out a hand to caress the other party's face. Even if this was just a dream forged by Heavenly Country's assassins, he still wanted to throw himself into it. My Hawa, didn't he die in the lower realm? Grandpa 15 was choking with emotions. When he thought of this, his heart felt a wave of pain. No, Grandpa, it really is me. I didn't die, and I'm still alive. In that instant, he quickly revealed his true appearance to let his grandfather see him. What, this is? Grandpa 15's body shook violently. He looked at Shahao's appearance after he grew up, and then his body immediately staggered, finding this unbelievable. This is it a dream? Who am I? I am the great demonic god's grandson. After losing my supreme being bone once, I could stick it through. It is just a trifling immortal palace curse, a rotten copper rush, yet it wants my life. That's impossible. Shahao smiled through his tears. Grandpa 15 roared with laughter as well. Tears rolled out from his eyes. There was grief, carefreeness, but also endless joy. Was this a reality, or a dream? He couldn't really separate it right now, because his emotions were surging violently, his mood hard to calm. This joyfulness came too suddenly. Where did these lunatics come from, crying and laughing over there? In the distance, someone said coldly and shot a look in this direction. Shahao had his back towards that direction. He didn't turn around and instead quickly put away his true appearance. He used the Zhuang race's 72 transformations divine ability to change his appearance. Then, he turned around and said, "Leave." It was clear that this was an exceptional talent. He didn't meet him before, but he could sense that there was an especially exuberant life spiritual essence within him. You want me to leave? That person coldly swept his eyes over. He wore black armor on his body, and there was a cold aura to his appearance that was incredibly intimidating. His entire body shone with dark light. The black armor began to shine. He directly took action, hacking outwards with the black divine sword in his hand. He also berated, "Get lost." This streak of sword energy was especially fierce. It distorted the heavens and completely surrounded Shahao and Grandpa 15. This already couldn't be described as only sword energy. It was more like a sword ocean. It was horrifying. "Grandpa, wait a bit for me," Shahao said. Then, he welcomed this sword ocean. He stirred on his body's vital energy without holding anything back. His heavenly passage shone, continuously enlarging to block this sword ocean. In addition, when he brandished his fists, the vermilion bird, true phoenix, swan ni, thunder sky sparrow and others all appeared. The 10,000 spirit diagram, and true primordial records symbols merged. He had comprehended its profound meanings. Right now, his full-powered strike shook heaven and earth. The world trembled. This place began to sway back and forth. Yi, that guy from Underworld Earth encountered an opponent. That's the Underworld child, an extremely powerful individual. He was actually stopped by someone. It's that fella called Devil King. Not long ago, he killed Jin Lai, and now, he is facing the Underworld child. This battle drew the attention of everyone here. They all revealed looks of surprise. Shahao admitted that this Underworld child was extremely powerful, quite a bit more powerful than Jin Lai. It was a terrifying opponent. Underworld light surged around him with the divine force of corrosion. The powerful Underworld child was blasted backwards. Blood splashed outwards. After a great battle comprising of over 300 exchanges, Shahao blasted apart Underworld child in midair. When the life symbols reconstructed Underworld child, Shahao coldly looked at him and said, "Get lost." You Underworld child was furious. The other party returned these words, but the difference was that these words were spoken after he was killed. If you aren't willing to accept this, then just come back. Then, I'll kill your real body. Shahao said calmly. He then turned around and quickly arrived by his grandfather. You are my grandson. Grandpa 15 was shocked and moved. This youth was actually so formidable, directly blasting apart an exceptional talent. All eyes were cast in this direction. Underworld child was unexpectedly killed. Another exceptional talent was killed. This was definitely a major event. especially because Underworld Child was not an ordinary exceptional talent. He came from Underworld Earth, and his power was extremely powerful. Even the exceptional talents in the distance, who were chasing after the bone symbol, were shocked. They looked in this direction, their eyes passing over the lakes and beautiful mountain peaks, piercing through the hazy mist to look in this direction. Grandpa. It truly is me. Shahao transmitted mentally. He grabbed Grandpa 15's arm, and his eyes turned red. After experiencing so many difficulties, he was finally reunited with his grandfather. At this moment, he was full of joy and excitement, as well as a soreness deep down. My Hauer. The great demonic god was usually an unyielding and valiant man, but right now, he was trembling slightly. He stared at this youth that could kill exceptional talents. When he first obtained news of his grandson's death, it was like thunder dropping down from the sky, hacking down on his mind. He felt incomparably grieved and bitter. To have his own grandchild die before him was a truly painful thing. After so much time had passed, there was still a haze covering his heart. Grandpa 15 felt as if a part of himself had died, and he aged rather quickly during this period of time. It was because his heart was like dead ashes. The grandson he longed to meet the most had died. This was a great mental shock to him. Grandpa 15 roared with laughter. Old tears rolled down his face. The reunion today had happened too suddenly, and he almost couldn't believe it. This was a miracle, one that consoled his dejected heart. 2 black divine lions, 5 or 6 pure-blooded fierce birds that were spiraling about, and several stalks of ancient trees quickly disappeared from the region Shahao was standing in. They were all powerful creatures in the secret realm. Many cultivators quickly withdrew, only stopping when they were far enough away, not daring to come closer. Even several experts that ignited their divine flames revealed looks of shock, gazing in this direction. They felt like this youth was a troublesome existence. At the secret realm entrance, above the altar, black mists pervaded the air. A powerful figure appeared, one with golden armor that radiated cold black light. There was a deathly aura around him. A pair of eyes opened in the darkness, ice cold and ruthless. He looked like a death god from the underworld. It made others shiver inwardly. Another extraordinary cultivator was killed. Who is this person? How could his aura be so terrifying? I feel like he is even a bit more formidable than Sun God Vine Race's divine child. There were cultivators discussing in a soft voice. They felt a wave of ice-cold and lifeless fluctuation. They immediately felt an ominous feeling, as well as fear. Even the senior elders that were protecting the secret realm frowned. This individual was cruel and cold. Ever since he returned, he didn't say a word. Black underworld mists surrounded him, making them all feel unwell. It's him, Underworld Child. Someone cried out in shock. His identity was finally exposed. With the truth now known, a huge uproar was raised. Who was Underworld Child? He came from a desolate, an ice-cold place of death. Some people called that place the Underworld. The title of Underworld Child meant that he was extraordinary and his strength was also great. He was definitely not someone ordinary young talents could compare to. There was a rumor in the outside world that he had killed exceptional talents before. He had extraordinary battle successes, defeating all those in his past. In this present world, there were still none who could stop him. Little friend, who did you fight against? An old sect master asked, not mentioning how he was killed, and instead asked this. This was also an act of trying to help the youth save face. How extraordinary, this young devil king. He is quite amazing, truly formidable. He first killed several dozen experts from the scarlet-feathered crane race, and then he killed the dragon sparrow and purple true Hu, sun god Vine Jin Lai, and now Underworld Child. Everyone discussed this among themselves. Tears poured out from Fire Devil Palace people's eyes. Why did they have to bring them up every time? It hurts too much. This was the second exceptional talent killed in the secret realm, but both incidences were caused by the same person. Forget about the cultivators that were always watching the situation here. Even the people who weren't as familiar with things knew that this was not ordinary. The young Devil King immediately became the focal point of everyone's discussions. Everyone began to guess at his identity. This youth is truly formidable. Shaziling and his wife were also discussing this, feeling worry for Qin Hao. The name Huang began to be discussed among everyone again. The mysterious expert that appeared in 5 Elements province recently was the only one that seemed to match this description. He left his name on the demonic sovereign's divine monument, suppressing Qin Changxing in power and overlooking all 10 provinces. Start up the altar for me. I want to go back. Underworld Child said in a heavy tone. There were black mists curling about him, as well as the aura of Underworld Earth. He was going to enter the secret realm again. In the depths of the secret realm, the lake region, Shahao and the great demonic god left the chaotic battlefield, because that was not the place to reminisce about the past at all. They had too many things to say, and it was hard for them to calm down inside. Now, Grandpa 15 was already clear-headed and roaring with laughter. He was stirred up and excited to the extreme, because he thought that his grandson had died, which made him feel inwardly grieved. How could he have predicted that a living grandson would appear in front of him today? Inside a remote place, the grandfather and grandson arranged a formation together, separating themselves from the outside world, and then they revealed their true appearances. Grandfather, your hair is all white already. Shahao's nose felt sour, and his eyes became red. The great demonic god was 50 or 60 in age, and should be in his golden age, surging with blood energy and vitality, but right now, his hair was white, and the corners of his eyes carried many fine wrinkles. Great changes could be seen within them. Even though grandfather's outer appearance has become a bit older, but my vitality is still here. Now that I know you are still alive, my blood energy will immediately soar into the skies and recover, ha ha ha. The great demonic god said open-mindedly. He looked at Shahao's appearance closely, patting his shoulders and appearing more and more happy. The grandson he cared about the most was not only alive, he even slaughtered his way into the higher realms, killing exceptional talents here. He was especially satisfied with his temperament and manner of conduct. Even though Shahao had met with the great demonic god's spiritual body, now that they reunited again, there was still an extremely moved feeling. He felt incomparable sorrow and joy. Unfortunately, the one that appeared before was just a spiritual body, and it quickly died, so it couldn't bring the news to his grandfather. Grandfather, you are suddenly, Shahao was shocked. He saw Grandpa 15's sleeve was still empty. That arm was still missing. When he saw the great demonic god's hair turn white, his face full of wrinkles and great changes, as well as the broken arm, Shahao felt great pain inwardly. It made him feel extremely bad. His grandfather had gone through so many difficulties during these past few years. The great demonic god consoled him, saying, "Don't worry, your grandfather is already a supreme expert, and is about to ignite his divine flame any day now. When one reaches this level, they can regrow broken limbs, so it will all regrow soon." The great demonic god turned his hand, and then a jade figure appeared. He told Shahao that it was because he merged with this figure that he could form the appearance of a youth again, as well as fill in the arm he was missing. This was a precious artifact he found in an ancient cave while being pursued on Fiend Island. It was something left behind by someone that previously died there. Shahao nodded. His grandfather's arm could be regrown. One could regrow their flesh upon entering the supreme expert realm, but recently, he had been in an extremely sorry state, constantly pursued by heavenly country, so he didn't take the time to reconstruct his real body. However, he was still worried. He personally examined his grandfather, and then in the end, he revealed a look of shock. Grandpa 15's blood energy was too rich. It was truly astonishing. After taking in the demonic sovereign's true blood, I was unable to refine it, so I sealed all of it inside my flesh and bones, said Grandpa 15. This was the greatest natural opportunity he obtained from Fiend Island. Shahao was overjoyed. He could see that a sphere of true blood was scattered within the flesh, slowly cleansing his grandfather's flesh. Sooner or later, a great transformation would take place. Grandfather, do not rush to light your divine flame and wait until your missing arm is properly regrown. When I've obtained even more holy medicines, I'll refine a furnace of divine flame pills, and then you should advance. What is this? So you noticed, Grandpa 15 sighed. This was a side effect that was brought about by ingesting the demonic sovereign's true blood. The demonic sovereign's true blood, forget about a fist-sized amount, just a drop was already too much for an ordinary person to endure. Directly devouring it will definitely cause the body to explode. Fortunately, this sphere of true blood left behind by the demonic sovereign had already exhausted its innate killing energy. All of the harmful substances pretty much no longer existed. Otherwise, even if it was a true deity that ate it, their flesh would still explode, wiping out their body and spirit. Even though this true blood didn't have any killing intent, and had been completely dissolved, it was still left behind by a forbidden existence. He already died, and the entire Fiend Island was dusky and overcast. This sphere of blood naturally had a bit of deathly energy mixed in. Even though it was just a trace, for the inheritor, it was still extremely troublesome. At first, Grandpa 15 could still control it, but after being pursued by Heavenly Country's Angel of Light, he suffered serious injuries, causing problems to appear. This caused the yin energy to quickly extend towards the bones all over his entire body. In particular, Heavenly Country's assassins all moved through darkness. They all crawled out from a mountains of corpses and a sea of blood, so their bodies were contaminated by rich amounts of deathly energy and yin mists. Their killing blades were the most vile weapons. They fed on flesh and devoured the soul. When Grandpa 15 was hacked like this, that trace of yin energy immediately began to erupt with action. After Shahao learned about this, he tightened his fists and said, "I will pay Heavenly Country a visit sooner or later, and overturn the entire inheritance." Regardless of whether it was his own grandfather, Heaven Mending Pavilion's ghost grandpa, or himself, they all had an undissolvable blood feud with this place. He already made the vow a long time ago to settle things one day. The alcohol is effective. Shahao was astonished. It is. The great demonic god nodded. In the future, I will find divine wine for grandfather. I believe the little devil wine made from holy medicines will definitely be able to completely eliminate the yin energy. Shahao said. He had drank normal little devil wine and already thought that it was divine wine. Its taste was extremely great, so he truly wanted to see what the little devil wine made from holy medicines would taste like. Demonic sovereign's true blood has a few symbols inside. I comprehended its true meanings. It is a flesh refinement wondrous technique. It can improve the body, gradually transforming it and making it stronger. Grandpa 15 produced a set of symbols for Shahao. It wasn't especially profound, but it was too wonderful for words. It merged together with ordinary symbols, turning the rotten into the miraculous. It could be considered a supreme inheritance. Shahao silently experienced it, and then he felt greatly shocked. Right now, Shahao's supreme being blood was dried up and completely withered. He already couldn't be considered an exceptional talent. Grandpa 15 was thinking to himself. If his grandson completely recovered, how powerful would he become then? I will cultivate it. Shahao nodded. Then, he thought of something and said, Grandpa, you have yin energy inside. Perhaps if you cultivate a bit of extreme yang methods, you can expel it. He thought of the Kuan Peng technique's great yang power, and then he thought of the pure yang lightning precious technique. Grandfather, you should cultivate the lightning technique first. I obtained several exceptional precious medicines from the immortal tomb. If you take a stalk, you can quickly comprehend a type of lightning Dao divine ability. In the end, Shahao tossed this golden sheet into the first-sized pill furnace. There was water from the heavenly river inside, as well as immortal tomb's earth. They both contained endless lightning, as well immortal aura. Electricity crackled about. Lightning radiance shone unendingly. A shocking transformation happened to this golden paper. It absorbed the immortal Dao aura and shone resplendently within the electricity, becoming sparkling and brilliant. The grandfather and grandson were both shocked. The golden paper was covered densely in large amounts of bone texts. Even though they were all produced from electricity, it was profound and complex to the extreme. There was even a wave of supreme pressure. This is definitely the inheritance left behind by the dragon mastiff. The great demonic god said. His eyes were shining with excitement. Why do I feel like it is similar to when I faced the Kuan Peng technique? This is a supreme forbidden divine ability. Shahao was greatly shaken. Formidable. Grandpa 15 also nodded. Us grandfather and grandson pair will completely comprehend it, and then we will join hands to sweep through those people in the secret realm. Shahao roared with laughter. His savage nature appeared again. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.